So now I'd like to give you a little tour of the interface. Off to the left is a toolbar with a bunch of different tools here. And along the top, similar to Photoshop, there is a context-sensitive menu with a whole bunch of different options for us that changes depending on what tool we're selecting here on the toolbar on the left. On the right, there are a number of flyouts here: pages, layers, links, stroke, color swatches. The main ones that we're going to be interested in are pages, links, stroke, and swatches. If they're not here on the right side, you can get them by going over to Window, and then you can choose whichever of these flyouts are not there. I'll just choose stroke here. Stroke is already here, but it's appearing for me. And then I can collapse it or drag it into this palette here. If I click on Pages, this is expandable, so you can drag this down so that you can see all of your pages. And there are some thumbnails here for each of my 4 pages. I created this document to have 4 pages. Yours may have 3 pages. You can add a new page here, or you can delete a page, or you can change the order of any page that you'd like. So these are our thumbnails of the 4 pages of our documents. And then up here, off to the right, are 2 smaller thumbnails, and these are masters. These are templates. The top one, which says none, is there's no, that would mean that there is no template applied to any of these pages. And the A master is the A master template where I can apply a template to each of these 4 pages. I can create new templates if I want. Let me just drag this down a little bit, and I can create a new template, and now I have a B master template, and I can drag and apply them to each of these 4 pages. I'm not going to use a B master, so I'm just going to delete it, but I just wanted to show you how it works. You'll notice that on the templates, when I have one active, I have the page name number, and then there is an A here in the top middle of the template, and that refers to the A master that is applied to it. If I wanted to remove the template, I would click on the None thumbnail here and drag it to the template, and now my first page has no template applied to it, but I do want that template applied, so I'm going to click it on there so that I have an A in each of my 4 thumbnails. Now, off down near the bottom left here, you'll notice that there is a master here. And when I click on this little arrow, I have my 4 pages and a master. This is another way to be able to move to any of the 4 pages. I'll move to page 3 here, and you'll notice that when I go back up here, page 3 is highlighted on my little thumbnail. So this allows us to control what page we're on, and also if we're making changes to the template. Any changes that we make to the template are made on all of the pages. So I'm going to start with the template, and I'm going to just double click on it, and the template is selected, and you'll notice that A master is highlighted over here. And when I check down here, A master is also in this window here. So I know that I'm making changes to the A master template. Now I'm just going to collapse this little flyout here just so I can see my whole screen. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to sort of create a border. I could do a square border or just some lines or you know, a whole bunch of different things. And I'm just going to go simple, and I'm just going to choose a line. So I'm going to pick the line tool here. And I'll select a point here on the left, and my rubber band here is indicating to me where that line is going to go, and I'm going to work my way across the screen. If I hold Shift, my line tool will be either 45 degrees, 90 degrees, or horizontal. So I'm going to just create my horizontal line there, and that'll sort of define my viewing area versus my text area down here on my presentation. And if I click on my pages, and you'll notice that on the template you can sort of see there's a little line going across, so that line appears on all of my pages. Again, I want to make sure that A master is selected so that I'm making changes to the A master. I'm going to collapse this pages again. And with the selection tool, the top arrow here, I want to make sure that my line is selected, and there's a bunch of things that I can do to that line. And up here in the middle here is some tools here to allow me to change point size, and I can make that, really big if I wish. And I can change the design, the pattern of it too. There's double lines, there's dots, wavy lines. So I have a bunch of different options for me, and maybe I'll do double lines. I think I'm gonna bring it down though a little bit so it's a little less in your face. And also, I can change the stroke color of that line if I wish. I can make it red or cyan, but what I want is just one black for now. Okay, so now I have a border, and again, you could choose the rectangle tool, and you can create a border that way and do the same type of things with the rectangle tool. But I'm not going to do that, so I'm just going to undo that and get rid of that rectangle. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to have some text here in the lower right. When I am on each of my pages, I want to be able to identify the page as to whether or not it's my inspiration page or my furniture and furnishings or my perspective view. And I want to have some text that is consistent and in the same location. So I'm going to create a placeholder text in the lower right hand corner that I can use as a guide when I'm modifying text on my other pages. So I'm creating a text box here, and what I did was I just chose the text tool, the type tool, and let me just undo that, do it again. So I'm choosing the type tool here, and then I'm just going to create a text box, about the size that I want. And I'm going to go up here and choose a font. I think I'm going to choose Century Gothic because it's just kind of a pretty standard font. I'll just go something big, maybe 36 point. That might be too big. And I'm going to call it placeholder text. I'm just going to select it. The font is just a little big for me, so I'm just going to go 36. Also, I can change the the alignment of the text. I can make it center or right or fully justified. I'm just going to do right justified. And it's right justifying within the text box that I created. Okay. So there, now I have my placeholder text selected, and I have a border. In this case, I'm just going to use a line. And I'll go back to my pages flyout, and you'll notice that on each of the 4 pages, I have that horizontal line and the placeholder text. So now I'm going to start and make some changes to my first page. So my first page, I'm double clicking on the thumbnail here, and one is highlighted, and if I go down here, I'll notice that one is selected in my box here.